it is something spectacular to see your university suddenly thrust into not only the national consciousness but international. And of course, it's no secret that this whole community, the initial shock, grief, the Kirk family, the faculty, the staff, the students, the neighbors. So that's at the beginning, and I think where we are today, it's very interesting to watch this odyssey, from that to resilience, care. It was immediately, I think, you could feel it immediately that this campus was going to show a lot of care. So yeah, so for Utah Valley University, as president, to see my campus everywhere with these circumstances, I think it's also created interesting conversations about where we are today and on safety on campuses, or freedom of expression, or student resilience, or care and mental health. So it's been all of that, because there is an ongoing assessment, this third-party assessment. This is what's usually done in these cases. It is very important to have the patience to wait for that comprehensive, deep analysis by a third party in order to understand all aspects of security. And as a university, we're also coordinating with a criminal investigation and prosecution, so all of that must play out. In the immediate aftermath of Charlie Kirk's shooting, our priority here was to secure campus and have students, staff, and faculty who were here, have them be safe. And I think you probably are very familiar with the increased presence of law enforcement on campus. That is still ongoing, and the situation is fluid. So our responsibility is to make sure that that security and law enforcement continue to be a priority. I think that it's very important to highlight that what happened at UVU is not just a UVU matter, but it is a matter for the Utah system of higher education and then campuses and colleges throughout the country. You may be aware that the Utah system of higher education announced its own security task force. There will be legislative participation in that. And, what they learn, what we learn, I think all of that will be put together, it will be made public. And I think it will inform a new normal in terms of security norms and protocols, and how we continue to preserve what essentially, you're here on the campus, you know that it's open. It's an open campus, so to preserve the best of what we have, which is an open campus, freedom of expression where everybody's welcome, while at the same time you're balancing that with the needs of safety and security. That's one of the questions that the investigation will answer. And again, those will have implications for going forward, how you triage events. What has been really good here at UVU is we've actually had an examination of what is a major event, and what we are doing now is adding additional personnel or adding technology like metal detectors for a certain threshold of an event. And you have to look at the nature of it, whether it's internal, external. So that exercise of looking at events, planning for security, because you don't want to end events. We did, in fact, cancel events in the 2 weeks immediately after September 10, but we are in the business of education. We are in the business of debate and discourse and speakers and seminars, and we are a place for the community. So it's really been really looking at how we look at our events and how we assess them.
Because you don't want to take away what is essentially the core of education.
Well, you don't want to take away the best parts of being the best parts of being a university. We originally had a threshold of 500, And Kara, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Did we lower that to 250? But some qualitative judgment is needed for that. So really, hard and fast rules, because when you need metal detectors, when you need additional staffing, it's both the numbers and what is this event, right? You have to ask qualitative questions. There are so many most difficult parts. I think in the immediate aftermath, just securing campus and returning confidence. And then, part two is the healing aspect. And then part three is empowering people. And there are, of course, junctures that you feel emotions are running so high, like a vigil. And I don't know if you watched our vigil, but I was so proud of that vigil, especially seeing the students in the tail end, where you realize it's not about me at all or you, it's about them. And they have a level of maturity and kindness and resilience and profound insight that was just so incredibly reassuring. And you have many emotions where people want you to do X or Y or Z. And the issue of balancing all of that, acknowledging that all those feelings are valid and all the political opinions are valid to everybody who has them, but being able to find middle ground for agreement and unity. And when our students talk about the necessity for conversation, because we are still in one school, we are still in one community, we are still in one state, I think that part's really important. We also created a memorial committee because so many members of our community want a way to honor or remember. And of course, those opinions are also very diverse. And I think having a memorial committee co-chaired by the chairman of the Board of Trustees of UVU and the Utah Board of Higher Education, and including legislators, students, and other leaders, I think that's a great method to have a dialogue. In essence, you may need to have some hard conversations, but I think that's a way to reach a decision that we could be proud of. I mean, personally, for me, I also have to manage my own mental and emotional well-being. And I'm very grateful I have a cabinet where, it's really, really hard work, really hard work. And so being able to discuss things and being thorough